Hey guys, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com. Once again, thank you so much for joining me for my video today. And we're going to be discussing the 5 behaviors or things that damage your relationship. I always talk about so much about the things that make healthy relationships and the things that you can do that'll make your relationship happy and have you guys come together as a team. But today I want to focus on the things that you could be doing that are ultimately damaging your relationship, ruining the connection between you and your significant other, and causing you to drift further and further apart emotionally. So I want you to be listening to these 5 things, see if you're doing any of them, and if you are, really make some changes and be aware of that so you don't continue down this path, because ultimately continuing to do these behaviors that we're going to be talking about will be destructive down the road. You know, it really is amazing how when we start relationships, or even, sometimes years down the relationship, we can still feel so in love and enamored with our significant other. We feel so deeply connected. We love them to death. We want what's best for them, and we just are on that cloud 9 just thinking about them. And then fast forward to however long later down the road, that same couple that was once so enamored with each other can now feel so distanced and hurt and heartbroken and sad and unfulfilled, and what it seems like sometimes the blink of an eye. A couple wakes up and is like, how did we even get here? So I want to speak to that, and I want to speak to some of the behaviors that could cause you to do that. As we're going to be talking about the things that are, not good to do, make sure that you also click on my other video about showing effort in a relationship, the 10 things that you and your significant other should do, because that's going to talk about the behaviors that I want you to start implementing in order for you to get closer. These behaviors are going to be talking about so you can stop doing it, because it'll cause damage, like I was saying. Okay, so here are the 5 behaviors that I want you to avoid at all costs. These are the things that really are sometimes what I consider the tumor to the relationship, the cancer to the relationship, the things that are just not going to make you and your significant other happy down the road. Behavior number 1. Not being open to new ideas. So what I mean by that is, we need to be flexible when it comes to relationships. We can't always be so rigid in our routine, so rigid in our thought process. After all, you're sharing a life with somebody else, and it's important to be open to new ideas. I mean, you have to be a flexible person when it comes to just things in general, or else you're not going to be happy, because life happens, curveballs are thrown your way, and you need to know how to adjust. So you have to be open to trying new things, new ideas, new concepts, and not be so set in your ways, because you have to ask yourself, if what I am doing right now in my relationship, is that working for me? Am I feeling fulfilled all the time? Am I feeling happy all the time? And if the answer is no, that things aren't working for you, that you're doing things, but it just seems like you're still feeling unfulfilled or unhappy, then you got to be open to try something else, okay? We have to have an open mindset here. If you want things to change, you have to be willing to do new behaviors and try new things. So be open to new ideas. That's really important. And if you're not, that can be a really big problem. Behavior number 2, if you're getting angry or defensive at feedback that your partner is giving you. I say this because, look, we are not perfect. I have never claimed to be perfect. I am the first person to tell you I am not perfect at all. I have made so many mistakes in my relationship, and I own that, right? And I know that I am just striving to be a better person every single day and be a better partner every single day. So with that said, we're going to be getting feedback from our partner about maybe something we said to them that pissed them off, maybe something we did to them that hurt their feelings. That's going to happen. And if we are always responding in anger or defensiveness and justifying why we did what we did, that is not going to go very far in your relationship. You're going to realize that you guys are butting heads, you're going to get in arguments, you're going to get in fights. So stop being so angry and defensive when your partner is telling you something that you did that maybe they didn't like. Stop getting so angry and defensive when your partner is giving you feedback. You got to be open to that. You have to be willing to accept personal responsibility for your behaviors and how it contributed to the problem. Because again, you're going to make mistakes. You're not perfect. You're going to be a part of the problem at times in your dynamic and in your relationship. So own that, okay? Nothing is wrong with that. In fact, it takes a huge level of maturity to say, you know what, my bad. I really did mess up. I really did do this that caused you to be hurt. I did this that caused you to be sad. Whatever it is, when you own up for it, there is this feeling of like empowerment actually that you feel like, oh yes, I'm not perfect. I did make this mistake. And you know what? I'm going to do my best not to do this in the future. There's something so mature about that. And it actually feels really good and empowering and takes the burden off of yourself for feeling like you need to be perfect. So I think that's really important for you to remember. Okay. So stop being so angry and defensive. Tip number 3. A behavior that happens when you're lying, that's causing you and your relationship not to work, is when you're lying and you're not being forthcoming about information. Listen, stop lying to your significant other. Stop holding back information that is important for your significant other to know. Because I guarantee you, these lies, these omissions of information are going to come to the forefront eventually. And when they do, that's going to cause so much more devastation and heartbreak and heartache down the road. So don't do that, okay? You need to be honest to your significant other. I know it's hard. I know a lot of times we're fearful of how our significant other is going to react in a situation, but the more you lie, the more you withhold information, it doesn't do any good for you and your character and who you are as a person, and it isn't going to help your relationship and make it healthier in the end. It really isn't. Again, lies come out eventually. Your partner finds out things, and that damages the trust and the bond and the connection that you have with your significant other down the road. So stop doing that. Start being honest. Start being open. That takes huge courage on your end, and it's one of the most important things that you need to do in your relationship in order for it to succeed and be happy. Behavior number 4 that's ruining your relationship is you're not showing affection. Okay, we need to be showing physical affection towards each other. I want you to pay attention to the subtle touches that you give your significant other. Maybe the subtle kisses, the little hugs, the things that you do. If you haven't done that in a while, you need to start implementing that. You know, the more we can feel physically close to our significant others, at times that can really increase the emotional connection as well. Okay, so ask yourself how affectionate you have been with your significant other lately. And if you haven't, start making some effort and doing those subtle things that bring you guys closer together. Okay, that's really important. Start showing each other affection. It also shows your significant other that you appreciate them, that you value them, they're important to you, and a little affection really does go a long way. Last but not least, behavior number 5 that could be damaging your relationship is you're either maybe too controlling in the relationship or you're too passive. Nobody wants somebody who is dominating all the time and always making the decisions and always, you know, steering the reins and figuring out what you guys are going to do. Listen, you're a partnership, so your significant other's voice and needs and desires are just as important as yours. So don't be too controlling. Don't be too dominating. Don't treat your significant other how you would not want to be treated. That's not right. That's not fair. Also, on the flip side, nobody wants somebody who is going to not have an opinion, not have ideas, just totally go with the flow and be like, whatever you want, I don't care. Because, you know, ultimately we do care. We are human beings. We have ideas, we have desires, we have opinions. So when you stuff that, you know, that isn't fun for your significant other to be in, you know, a relationship with you like that. But it isn't good for yourself as well, because you need to be able to voice your opinion, have your own needs, say what you need, say what you want. That's really important. So don't be too controlling and don't be too passive, because that could be a tumor in the relationship as well. So hopefully you're going to take these tips and really hone in on these and feel good about them, and, you know, start not doing these behaviors and start implementing some positive behaviors down the road. Okay, that's really important. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I will get back to you as soon as I can on that, like I always do. Again, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com, and thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time.